Interstate 435, yeah. Or as it's known in Kansas City, just 435, or occasionally 435 Highway for the real Kansas City people. It is a road I have driven many times, some parts more than others, but have been on all of it, rest assured. Here's a look at the route. It is a ring around the entirety of Kansas City. It is more of an oval than a circle, and the eastern section is certainly more built up than the western section. You're watching Control City Freak. This is the YouTube channel where we talk about highways and the places that they're signed to go to. If you dig this kind of content, why not give us a like? And if you're really into it, why not subscribe? Yeah, subscribe. And I should also mention that you can request your exit for a $5 super sticker, but I believe by the time this posts, I will be done with Mexican Federal Highway 1. I will have roads coming soon. I will let you know in the community tab about that. Alright, we're going to talk about the inner loop of 435, and it's really never referred to that in Kansas City. That's more of an East Coast thing, but you know, it makes sense. It does work since we go in all four directions. So I'm going to start here on I-35 itself, northbound I-35 heading toward Kansas City, and we have our choice of 435 west and east. No control cities given on any of these roads, and we also see there's two K10 and two US 50, as I-35 is US 50 at this point. We do get a sign saying Lawrence, exit 222B. I feel like Lawrence really ought to be on the overhead sign for 435 for that. And here's our first exit on 435, exit 1A and 1B, Lackman Road and K10 West Lawrence. Been off at this exit many a time. And if you do get off at K10 West Lawrence, you have a choice to get back onto 435 North, but that would be because of 35 traffic merging into this ramp since they've redesigned this interchange. On K10, we get a pull through for East 10 and 435, which is weird because K10 ends at 435. There's no reason to have 10 on there. 35 and North 435 the other way, Wichita, Des Moines, 435, and Renner Boulevard you can get off here too. Like I said, totally redesigned exit here. At random interchanges, we also get no control city for 435, just 435 North. And we're heading up to the Shawnee Mission Parkway, and this used to be K12, I believe, and was also K10 when K10 only made it to K7 and then had to be routed up a different way to get to 435. We cross the Kansas River and into Wyandotte County here. Wyandotte County, we get a lot of these kinds of signs, these laundry lists of exits. We get Kansas Avenue, 70, KTA, 24 and 40, and State Avenue. 24 and 40 used to be on State Avenue, but they've moved them over to the Turnpike, or to the interstate, then they leave the Turnpike in Bonner Springs. 435 North gets no pull-through control, and 70 East gets the ridiculous St. Louis. We are on the western fringe of Kansas City, Kansas at this point, not even to Kansas City, Missouri, and a good 10 miles outside of downtown, so this should absolutely be 70 East Kansas City. On I-70, we do get KCI Airport, exit 411B. I don't know why that's not an overhead sign though. That should just be the control city for 435 here. Here is the Kansas Speedway, and that is in a big suburban development on the far west side of Kansas City, Kansas. There's our next laundry list of exits, Parallel Parkway, K5 South, and Donahue Road. Now we're crossing the Missouri River, and welcome to Missouri. I think this is our first exit in Missouri. We get Missouri 45 for Weston and Parkville. Nice tony suburbs here, not reflected by the condition this poor sign is in. In a random interchanges, once we're in Missouri, we get North 435 St. Joseph. You guys know I don't even think 29 should be St. Joseph. I think 29 should be Omaha, but I don't think this should be North 435 Omaha. This should be North 435 KCI. Literally every time I've ever been on this road, it's been to go to the airport. So I'm sure I'm not alone in that. That would be the much more sensible control. We're meeting Highway N and 152 along with Northwest Berry Road, which Highway 152 used to be on Berry Road, but they've since built a freeway for it. I think this used to have a control city of Liberty, but they've taken that down. Maybe it's only on the other side. We meet I-29, we're getting North St. Joseph and East 435, South 29 for Kansas City and KCI Airport. You get Mexico City Avenue. The real heads know if you're coming from this side of town, this is the faster way to get to the airport, so. The proper airport exit is 1 mile ahead, but 435 is going to leave before that, so we're going to leave 435 St. Louis. Right away, we get an exit for Northwest Cookingham Drive. You could actually get off here to go to the airport. It'd be weird, you could have taken 29 instead, but this will go to the airport too. And this is also one of 3 exits we have with Cookingham Drive. We get 169 North Smithville, 169 South Riverside. Downtown's probably better for 169 South, but then again, downtown traffic would have taken 29 anyway, I guess. 435 East St. Louis really doesn't make much sense to me. I know Missouri and Kansas City, they're generally doing cities outside of the metro, but if you wanted to go to St. Louis, you would have been better off taking 29 too, unless there was a traffic jam or something. It's generally faster to go through downtown than to take 435 around. Here is our big curve when we switch from 435 East to 435 South. And now we're meeting Cookingham Drive for the 3rd time. I didn't show the 2nd time. This is also takes you to I-35 North since there's no direct ramp onto I-35 North, which makes sense given the angles of the road. Northeast 108th Street also here. And we are meeting Missouri Highway 152 once again. And this was requested by Jade Falcon 66. So I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much. Now we're getting our chance to get onto South 35 for Kansas City and also 69 on the same exit. Nice. For Claycomo.
Off of 435, there's a place called Claycomo.
There was this awesome Q104 radio station Claycomo song. You know, it's at the tune of Kokomo. And yes, I'm going to play some of it right now.
Fort Parkway, past it, come on, little mama. I wanna take it down to Claycomo.
Next up, after I-35, we've got 48th Street and Parvin Road. This is the exit for Worlds of Fun and Oceans of Fun, yet I didn't see any sign on it whatsoever on 435, and I looked pretty carefully, so that's kind of weird. Worlds of Fun should almost be the control city out of the airport. And here is Worlds of Fun in all its glory, and we see the famous Worlds of Fun balloon right there. And on the other side of the freeway, there is the Worlds of Fun water tower, which is another local landmark in Kansas City. If you were to get off of that exit for Parvin Road and 48th Street, we get Worlds of Fun Avenue. We get a Texas left. It is acting as a frontage road, so we get a Texas left, Texas U-turn kind of thing, which I'm pretty sure is the only place in Kansas City that has that. Next, we are meeting Missouri Highway 210, signed for Richmond and North Kansas City. Front Street coming up, that is right near where we cross the river. And here we are crossing the Missouri River once again and being welcomed into Kansas City once again. We go in and out of Kansas City, Kansas and Kansas City, Missouri throughout this road. We're meeting US 24 East Winter Road. I always thought Winter Road was a great name for a street, especially being so close to the stadiums. This used to be 24 straight up, but now they are putting 24 onto 435 and then onto I-70. Missouri Highway 12 Truman Road coming up as well. We are meeting I-70, and it is signed for St. Louis and Kansas City, much more sensibly that you'd be signing it for Kansas City instead of Topeka here. And 435 is now signed south for Wichita. Makes sense. It is more sensible to sign at Wichita as a go around I-35. I-35 gets pretty messy in Johnson County, but at the same time, we're going to be meeting I-49 before that, so maybe sign it. Well, not Joplin. We'll get there. This is also the exit for the sports complex where the Chiefs will play this week and hopefully win. We're on 435. I took a look around quite a bit, but I have been on it enough times I knew I wasn't going to be able to find a place. But right by the stadiums, there's this road, Snyabar Road. I always thought it was a funny name when I was a kid. Meeting 350 East. I think this used to be US Highway 350, and this goes to Raytown and Lee's Summit. And 435 South Grandview. This is the one and only time 435 is signed with Grandview. Grandview kind of makes sense because the Grandview Triangle is where this 71, 470 all meet. The interchange is known as that, although it's not actually in Grandview. And here we come toward the Grandview Triangle exit. They've massively redone this interchange, and so we're getting West 435 and US 50 for Wichita because we're catching US 50 off of 470, and we get South 49, Grandview, Joplin, Lee's Summit. So Lee's Summit is for 470, Joplin is for 49, Grandview is for, I guess, all of them. And we also have Bannister Road right here too. I've said before, and I still stand by this, they shouldn't sign Joplin on 49, they should sign Springfield. This is the fastest way to get to Springfield. And I do think after 70, we should be signed 435 South Springfield. Bannister Road, we passed right by what used to be Bannister Mall. This is no longer there. This is an old street view, but let's all shed a tear for the formerly greatest mall in the Kansas City area. It went on forever, that mall. Bannister Mall! Here is where you're actually getting our split. So 4971 South Joplin, 470-50 East Lee Summit, and 435-50 East Wichita. At this point, I think we're probably better off signing Overland Park, just because why sign Wichita, Kansas's largest city, when you could sign Overland Park, Kansas's second largest city, and one that is only a few miles away, and the 435 actually goes to. Although it is a suburb, but it's a 3-digit road. And here's a look at the Holmes Road exit. This was requested by RowenHansen because this is his exit, so I thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. Here is State Line Road to 103rd Street, so we will be crossing into the Kansas side after that. We see these Johnson County roads, Rowe Avenue, and after crossing State Line Road, we just get a Kansas State Line. Kansas, you could do better than that. You could give the real Kansas Welcome to Kansas sign. I looked around though, I didn't see it anywhere. Here's a busier area of Overland Park, maybe downtown Overland Park if there is such a thing. And Metcalf Avenue south and north. This used to be Highway 169, Metcalf Avenue, but they've moved that off of Metcalf. And here's a look off of Metcalf. You've got the Embassy Suites there, and then further down where Metcalf South Mall used to be, but it's not there anymore. Our next exit is for Antioch Road, and then we've got US 69 south and north coming up. This is another interchange that's been massively redone, but it's still something of a cloverleaf. They're just getting 69 traffic off with some collector lanes here, distributor lanes. 69 does not have any control cities at all. 69 South used to be signed for Fort Scott, but no longer is. And we can see here the split between 69 South, 69 North traffic. And we see, yes, no Fort Scott. And we see on 69 itself, 435 is not signed for anything, along with 69 not being signed for anything. And we've got Quivira Road coming up here too. Get our last laundry list of exits here, 35 Lackman Road and K10 coming up here. See K10 3 minutes away, Shawnee Mission Parkway 7 minutes, I-70 13 minutes. Wow, so K10 to I-70 is only 10 minutes. And we are meeting I-35 once again. Notice this is exit 83, the last exit in numbers for 435. And US 56 and US 169 are also on I-35 at this point too. So we see South 35 Wichita and North 35 Des Moines instead of Kansas City, which is ridiculous because we are not in Kansas City, Kansas here. We're not even in the same county as Kansas City, Kansas here. So signing at Des Moines has no purpose whatsoever. Should be downtown or Kansas City. And here we get 435 West with nothing, 50, 56, and 169 all getting off here. K10 goes straight and I-35 exit only. They've redone this I-35 interchange, as I mentioned at the beginning, the Johnson County Gateway, something like that, this interchange. So here is kind of what it looks like now. And here is what it used to look like. This particular structure here, I remember them building that bridge support structure. I'm not sure what they're called. Back in the 80s, so before they put the bridges on there, they just had this big giant cement thing here before the bridge decks were placed. So it's always kind of cool looking. All right, and we have gone all the way around and we're back to where we started, such as things with a loop road. So I will talk about Todd's the way it should be. I'm only doing the inner loop in this episode. Outer loop, maybe another day. Starting from the beginning at exit 0 or exit 1, I'm going to say control city should be Lawrence, then KCI, then maybe stadiums and St. Louis, Springfield and Overland Park after I-70, and then just Overland Park after the Grandview interchange, Wichita once we are in Johnson County, once we're actually in Overland Park, those Knoll Avenue ones, from there on it should be Wichita, Lawrence from I-35 to K10. Alright, thank you so much for watching this episode of Control City Freak. We will be back soon with an episode on Mexican Highway 1 in honor of the Chiefs going to play the Chargers. I will not recognize that the Chargers don't play in San Diego. Alright, thank you so much for watching this episode, and until next time, my name is Todd, and keep on trucking.